Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Am I audible? Am I audible loud and clear? Siley. Okay, thank you. So we will start our today's session. Okay. So today we will do a rapid view of Unit 1 to 5. Okay, so our today's subject is subject code 309 knowledge management. This is two credit subject and subject type is generic elective university level. So this subject is for 50 marks and only university level and external examination is there. No internal examinations, no assignments for this subject. Okay. So, what is knowledge management? So, the knowledge management is a newly emerging interdisciplinary business model that has knowledge within the framework of an organization as its focus. So, it is rooted in many disciplines, including business, economics, psychology, and information management. So it is the ultimate competitive advantage for today's firm. So knowledge management involves people, technology, and processes in overlapping parts. Okay, so uh, in some ways, knowledge management is about survival in a new business world and a world of competition that increases in complexity and uncertainty each day. So, it is a world right challenges the traditional ways of doing things, and the focus is not only on finding the right answers but also on asking the right questions. So, what worked yesterday may or may not work tomorrow. So the focus is on doing the right things rather than doing things right. Okay. So knowledge management is the process of capturing and making use of firms collective expertise anywhere in the business. Okay, and it is the fuel or we can say it is not intended to favor expert systems of the business environment. So the knowledge management process includes creation, dissemination, then upgrade and application towards organizational survival in the we can say in the market or a competition world. So today's knowledge organization has a renewed responsibility to hire knowledgeable employees and specialists to manage knowledge as an intangible asset in the same way that one calls on the investor to manage the financial portfolio. Okay. So, what is knowledge organization? So, knowledge organization is nothing but the middle layer addresses the knowledge life cycle or knowledge creation or knowledge collection or knowledge capture and organize this knowledge and then apply this knowledge to form the strategies. So the final step is we can say maintenance phase. which ensures that the knowledge disseminated in accurate, reliable, and based on company standards set in advance. And the outer layer is the immediate environment of the organization or technology, then culture, suppliers, and customer intelligence, competition and leadership. So such an environment has a lot to do with how well the organization goes about developing and implementing its knowledge management life cycle, and it also called as knowledge management processes. Then, moving to the next part, that is why knowledge management. It means why knowledge management is required for the organization. So a new word for the consumers in today's market, or we can say prosumers, refers to the consumers who is no longer in the passive market where goods are offered at the exact face value. So prosumers are more educated consumers, and they demand more. So they provide feedback of manufacturers regarding the design of products and services from a consumer's perspective. So this has initiated new and radical changes in the business perspective, or in the business world. And even with recent technology developments such as networking, email, and web, business has yet to full respond to the societal, cultural, and technical changes. So, however, a positive response to knowledge sharing and knowledge management among growth oriented firms is beginning to appear. So, knowledge management has already demonstrated a number of benefits and has offered a justification for further implementation. And the internet facilitate its development and growth uh, via fast and timely sharing of knowledge. So, by sharing knowledge, an organization creates exponential benefits from the knowledge as people learn from it. So, this makes business processes faster and more effective, and empowers employees in a unique way. So, for example, we can say Microsoft Hotmail service advanced the wide use of email that allowed users to exchange information through any web browser. So today's web-based interface is the norms for most internet service providers. So based on a number of published studies, knowledge management has a positive impact on business processes. So the goal is to capture tactic knowledge required by a business process and encourage knowledge workers to share and communicate knowledge with their colleagues or peers. So with such knowledge, it is easier to determine which processes are more effective or less effective than others. Uh, then the main constraint in knowledge management, however, is to initially capturing it. So, however, if an organization can succeed in capturing and disappearing knowledge, the benefits are endless. So, a company can leverage and more fully utilize intellectual assets, it can also position itself in responding quickly to customers and create new markets and rapidly developing new products and demonstrate and dominating emergent technologies. So, another benefit of knowledge management is the intangible return on knowledge sharing rather than knowledge hoarding. So often employees in one part of a business start from scratch on the project because of knowledge needed it's somewhere else but not known to them. Okay, so as a result of knowledge management systems has been developed to gather, organize, refine, and distribute knowledge throughout the business. This knowledge management is important or benefited for the organization. So that's why knowledge management is required. And moving to the next part, that is knowledge management life cycle. So the knowledge management goes through a series of steps, so making up and ongoing life cycle. So the four-step process, uh, we can say, which includes gathering, organizing, refining, and disseminating. So all these four steps are involved in knowledge management life cycles. So these and alternative approaches to the knowledge management life cycle and explained in details uh, in this uh, uh, in this session. So the capturing phase of knowledge management life cycle is deals with knowledge capture and includes email, then auto files, digital files, and the likes. So in this phase, it is important to go to all the sources available and never judge the unusefulness of the captured knowledge until after it is subjected to the exhaustive testing. So, in this phase, knowledge management systems are an ideal approach to eliciting and representing knowledge into a form that can be available to many users. So, a key knowledge management process is we will discuss in detail in later chapters. So, after the capturing phase, uh, captured data or information should be organized in a way that can be retrieved and used to generate useful knowledge. So, one can use indexing or we can say filtering or codifying uh, other methods to do the organized speed and use effective or we can say efficient uh, data and develop these data in the knowledge form. So after organizing the information it should be refined. Then data mining can be applied in this phase, and data mining takes uh, explicit knowledge found in databases and transforms it into tactic knowledge. So data mining software is used to find patterns in data and predict behavior and warn against future problems based on the data supplied in data warehouses. So, for example, the sales records for a particular brand of tennis racket might it sufficiently analyzed and related to other market data, but it reveals a seasonal correlation with the purchase by the same parties of golf equipment. Okay, then after the refining phase, knowledge should be disseminated or transferred. So this includes making knowledge available to the employees via tutorials or guidelines for effective use. Then predictive models can be designed to alert users to consequences of certain projects or human resources activities. So the key point is not to let store or we can say available knowledge uh, sit idle in a we can say in like a database. Then it should be available to authorized user to contribute to the corporate competitive advantage. Okay, so all these four phases, or we can say four steps in knowledge management life cycle. One is capturing, second is organizing, third is refining, and fifth one is transferring or transfer. Okay, so moving to the next part, that is data, information, and knowledge. So the main benefit of the discussing knowledge this early in the text will becoming obvious later. So data are unorganized and unprocessed facts. They are static. They just sit there. For example, we can say John is 6 feet tall. So this is data. So it does not necessarily lead one anywhere. However, it means or the meaning one brings to the evaluation of this data could be important. So, such an evaluation may indicate that John's height would make him as asset to the basketball team. So, this becomes information. So the data is a set of discrete facts about events, and it structured records of transactions. So when a customer goes to the store uh, and buys merchandise, so the number of socks and the price he or she paid are all data. So the data tells nothing about the motivation behind the purchase, the quality of the socks, or the reputation of the store. So the quantitatively stores evaluated patterns of purchases or the number of customers purchasing specific items and other items those customers purchased. So evaluation such as these can be used to derive information about customers behavior and the price sensitively of such certain merchandise. Okay, so this means that data is a prerequisite to information. So all organizations need data, and some companies depend more heavily on the data than others. Okay, for example, we can say insurance companies, banks, and internal revenue services, or the social security administrations are heavily number crunchers. So millions of transactions are proceed daily. So the problem with too much data is that it offers no judgment and no basis for action. So this means that an organization must decide on the nature and volume of data needed to create information. Okay, so what is the information? So the word information is derived from the word inform, which means to give shape to. So the information means shaping the data to arrive at a meaning in the eyes of the perceiver. So the information is an aggregation of data that makes decision making earlier. So it is also facts and figures based on a reformatted or processed data. So for example, a profit and loss statement provides information. So it is an assembling of facts into a form that shows an organization's state of health over a specific time period. So here is another example of information. So five farmers of northern side, we can say, who had switched crops from watermelon to sugarcane with the right hope of a quick profit. So could not bear the anguish of crop failure for uh, we can say for 2 seasons. So they committed suicide after having to sell the farm to pay the bank loan. So, unlike data and information is understanding relations. So, it has a meaning, it has purpose and relevance. So, it has a shape. So, because it is organized for a purpose. So, the data may have been reorganized, or we can say statically analyzed, or it had errors removed, but all perform to add the meaning to the message, a report or a document. So the medium is not the message, although it could affect the message. So an analogy, having a telephone does not ensures worthwhile conversations. So although certain telephones make the message clear and the more easily understood. So today, having more information technology is not a guarantee for improving the state of information. So information is accessible to employees and managers through the company's local area networks or internet or emails and satellite infrastructures, or we can say hand delivery. So unliking data that emphasizes quantity and efficiency of processing. So the focus of information is qualitative, and the implication is that the data becoming information when the meaning or value is added to improve the quality of decision making. Okay, so moving to the next, internet गेला.